I've been playing a Nintendo exclusive on my Switch recently. It's called Good Job, and thank you so much to Nintendo for providing this review code. This is a crazy physics puzzler type of experience where you play a helpful person that is going from floor to floor inside of this office building, which is broken up with different kinds of disciplines on each floor. So you've got reception, and you've got logistics, and you have recreation, you've got robotics, you've got like warehousey areas, you've got a Zen garden that you have to go through, you've got a little cinema built in, and on each floor and in each room and in each office area you've got different objectives that you need to complete. And the thing with this game is that it's all physics based, so everything that you touch or grab onto has got weight and is going to bump into other things or bust through other things, and sometimes you've got to do crazy amounts of damage in order to figure out how to solve the puzzle, how to get Wi-Fi to different people, how to put a robot together, how to maneuver laser beams so that every room inside of the office actually has energy and all the lights go on. Sometimes you've got to clean up goo. Sometimes you've got to help little scientists actually get to where they need to go by using a forklift and picking up different obstacles and putting them in the right place so that they can climb over them. And there's a lot of finessing and fiddling that you're going to have to be able to contend with, and sometimes that can be extraordinarily frustrating because this is not a game that sort of embraces precision. And it's clumsy and it's clunky, and if you play this with somebody else, you're also going to be contending with the idea that two different minds are going to have two different ways to complete things, and there's so much free-form fun to explore in here. But I do have to 100% admit that I was getting incredibly frustrated on some of these levels because of that lack of precision, which is, it's built into the DNA of the game, and you kind of have to Zen breathe as you're trying to complete something. There's a timer counting down. You are judged on how effectively you've completed objectives, how quickly you've done it, and how much damage you've caused. And so you get a little rating at the end of every level. You do get a good job as you complete every level, which is nice encouragement. And there is this addictive pull to see what Paladin, the developers that made this game, have come up with for the next level. You also are constantly unlocking little accessories for your characters as well, which are nondescript kind of animated stick figures. There's a minimalist art aesthetic here, which I really like. It's all sort of color shaped, and a lot of the puzzles and a lot of the challenges that you're going to be faced with are definitely employing the fact that this colored little block or object or electrical device needs to be maneuvered and brought over to this similarly colored little pattern on the floor. And sometimes there's going to be ice on the way, so things will slide around. I found it particularly challenging to maneuver with a forklift on the ice as I was lifting boxes and objects to try to get them onto ramps and then go across and under them and then pick them up again. And trust me, there are some levels, they're going to have you pulling your hair out. They're going to have you sort of... But eventually you do, and then you're encouraged to see what kinds of insanity is up for you next. And it's, I think, a lot more fun to be sitting with another person. I played with my daughter, and it's a lot more fun to be sitting with a person and having laughs about it. And there's so much silly damage and destruction that you do. There's little gold objects that you're going to have to dig around and find, and then you try to destroy them in one way, whether you drop them off of a catwalk or crash into them. It's also very satisfying to create slingshots using electrical wires and then grabbing items that have some weight to them, pulling back and then releasing them and watching them bust through walls and create all kinds of chaos. We had to do this one level where we had to position mirrors to bounce laser beams. We've done this a million times in video games, but one of the things that happened is there were a bunch of mirrors inside of a room that we really needed, and I figured out a way to drop this air compressed canister, and it just created chaos all across the office. Walls were being destroyed everywhere. Of course, a lot of the mirrors were destroyed, but they were still effective, even with big cracks all the way through them. The music veers in the direction of office music, which is appropriate. There's almost a Portal-like, sense of humor and charm about this as well. It's like, let's test out what we can do in this scenario. Let's test out this one. And I like the idea that you could just be this hapless doofus who is still riding the corporate ladder and eventually going to be, hanging out with the executives in this office building that doesn't know what has hit it. Good Job is actually, it's pretty damn solid. I do have to say that the frustration was getting to me, and sometimes it felt like I was trying to thread a needle with oven mitts on. I kept using that analogy with my kid, and she was like, I don't know what you mean. I think this is something that she has really, really enjoyed playing. In fact, I wanted to let my daughter have some thoughts here about what it's been like to play Good Job. So here's my daughter, Ruth. Hey, Ru, what'd you think of Good Job?
It's really good. I like that it's puzzle solving in some ways, and that you're like a construction worker and you have to go up the floors. But one of my favorite parts is that you could like change your costumes. You had to find costumes in every level. Right now, my guy has a crown and like that cape that kings wear.
Did you like the art of the game?
Yeah. I could draw better than that, but it's really cool.
Do you like breaking everything in the levels?
Yeah. But the part that I don't like is those vehicles that you drive in and you do the boxes. I'm stuck on that level and I can't get anything done because I don't even know how to control them.
Was it weird to see your dad getting so frustrated playing the game?
Yes, because I liked it a lot more than him.
So what are you going to give Good Job?
I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
All right, Ruby, thank you for that. I liked it maybe a little bit less than her, but I definitely think it's worth checking out. It's not a full-price game. It's not a massive game, but there's a lot of replayability in each of these different, office missions. And, the game certainly comes packed with a lot of charm. I'm going to give Good Job a 7.5 out of 10.